It is Friday night. SmackDown is on the air, and we are here to bring you the security detail. It is Chris Best and Chris Parrish. Just taking a look at everything that has led up to last week with Randy Orton and Pat McAfee attacking Cody Rhodes. Parrish, how are you feeling about this right now?
I want to see where this goes. I know there's been such backlash with a lot of people because, let's face it, wrestling fans are a little impatient when they don't get their way. I'll be the one who says it, so nobody else has to. But that doesn't reflect every single wrestling fan. That's just a minority that seem to speak like a majority. A lot of people didn't want Pat McAfee. That's fine. A lot of people compared to Travis Scott. That's, I think, a stretch. But I want to see where this goes, how this kind of escalates. What does it do for this feud and Cody Rhodes, the championship, the company? All that is really hard to say after just one show.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got to see where this is all going to play out.
I do want to let everybody know we are streaming on 4 platforms: Facebook, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. If you want to help Turnbuckle Studios reach 200 subscribers by WrestleMania, which is only 8 days away, we are sitting at 192. We can do it. We are closing in. And since you're already on that YouTube, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell button, and let yourself be alerted every time Turnbuckle Studios goes live. And if you're on Facebook, hit that like, hit a thumbs up, hit a little emoticon. You can put a heart, thumbs up, all that stuff. Hell, leave a thumbs down, but let us know what we could do better, because we're always listening to everyone's feedback. And then again, if you're on Twitch or Kick, please subscribe to our channel. We definitely appreciate it all. Jelly Roll is letting Cody Rhodes know that this is all about the 20 years, the championship. Doesn't need to worry about Pat McAfee, doesn't need to worry about anything else. Does this mean Jelly Roll is putting himself in a position to back Cody to prevent McAfee from doing any more damage?
I got to say so, because just before that, Nick Aldis had imposed a ban on Cody for laying a hand on Pat McAfee as well.
Which, I mean, that makes me laugh. But at the same time, Pat McAfee still under maybe the announcing role. We don't know what his position is right now, so he might be on that good old fun no touch list. That is a thing in WWE. But what is a thing is Rhea Ripley coming out she did have to watch her friend, her partner, Io Sky, get absolutely brutalized by Jade, Meechin, and BFAB on Raw, as we're seeing now, thus meaning she has to go with this alone. Now,
And
there has been speculation to the reason why we're seeing Io Sky even involved in this is because right now her WrestleMania status is very much in limbo based off the injury that Nikki Bella sustained. Because the rumors are floating that if the Bellas can't go, the Kabuki Warriors will be the replacement. And if that's the case, that rumored match between Asuka
mhm.
and Io would not happen at WrestleMania. Therefore, Io Sky will not be involved in something else. Rhea Ripley saying this is now personal. And
Io Sky is making her way out.
now, is this the wise move, or is this just another way for Jade and her friends to get more? But Rhea doesn't look like she's overly excited to see her.
She looks more concerned, like, should you really be out here? As we can see, Io Sky's taped up all over the place.
Io saying, I know you're angry, but so am I. I was the one who was attacked. And she knows Rhea needs help.
And Io has just called out Jade, saying she wants her tonight.
Well, I mean, we have been seeing Rhea run the gauntlet, taking a match with BFAB on the day's notice, having a match with Meechin. But what has Jade been doing?
Other than directing the traffic against Rhea, absolutely nothing, really.
So what is it good for? And Nick Aldis has just made it official. Io versus Jade main event tonight, live from San Jose.
I can get behind that.
So that means we are getting another women's main event. Gotta love it. Love seeing it.
Oh, and Alexa Bliss goes up against the hometown woman, Bailey, tonight. That's up next, actually.
Now, Charlotte just was on a podcast and she stated that teaming up with Alexa Bliss really saved her career as she was very much in doubt of where she was heading after her loss to Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania 41. So the fact that this tag team at first was confusing, but completely hit on all cylinders as it went on wasn't just something the fans enjoyed, but something that she did as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've noted that like ever since this partnership had happened, that Charlotte just seems a little more happier in what she's doing.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like it's allowing her just to kind of put her guard down a little bit and not having to stress out about being the best every night, which we've seen in the past with multiple people, men, women, anyone, that really can change people for the worse. So, and we all know that Charlotte, as a human being, has gone through a lot in her personal life to the point where carrying those burdens into work every day, that's hard on its own.
Mm-hmm.
But then having professional setbacks and struggles, that's a whole different dynamite that's ready to go off. So the fact that there is a bright light for her, I think she's definitely looking at it as a positive and taking this as a way to enjoy it a lot more than maybe she's normally has in her career. Now, we did let everybody know where we're sitting at on YouTube. We're sitting at 234 followers on Twitch, which means we're 16 away from 250. And I think by WrestleMania, we can get that done. So if everyone's on Twitch, let us know who we need to reach out, or in fact, help them reach out to us. Share the word, Turnbuckle Studios, on just about every day of the week. And we got you covered through all the WrestleMania season in just 8 days. We need 16 to get to 250. Help us do it. It's only 16. That's, that's like maybe what? That's like less than 3 6-packs of beer. Less. It's not much. Also, if you're on Twitch and you want us to throw maybe a raid out at the end of this episode, let us know in the comments, as I will set that up. So as our show goes away, we will raid on the Twitch side to someone else. Let us know who we should be helping out. Now, as we stand right now for WrestleMania, we do have, I believe, 12 matches already set. Is there... Oh, no, sorry, 13 with the addition of that 6-man tag on Monday. Is there one person you are shocked that you haven't seen a confirmed match at WrestleMania for?
Yeah, it's Io Sky, actually. I'm very much surprised that she's not on the show.
And you have to wonder, too, just with that injury with Nikki Bella, the rumors are stating that if they can't go, the Kabuki Warriors might be that replacement. And if that is by chance true, you think we'll be seeing that by maybe Monday or even next week on SmackDown. But that really does set or put a wrench in the plans for Io.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
I think for me, one of the big ones is Tiffany Stratton. If I'm going on the women's side, she was in a championship match just last year. she was the champion going in. She retained her
Mhm.
championship, and one injury later after that title, and she's not on. It's very reminiscent of how last year I felt with Bayley, as she was not on that roster or on the card for WrestleMania.
But I'm thinking with Io, she might still be at WrestleMania even if she isn't booked against Asuka, because I think that's part of the reason why they're putting her in this situation with Rhea and Jade right now too.
Yeah, and I think there's definitely ways to go. I think if we see Io get beat up again tonight, then I think there is a larger play on that side. But if maybe
Mhm.
we see the Kabuki Warriors, or more specifically Asuka, get involved tonight, I think we now know what that direction would be.
Mhm.
And once again, that really all dictates, because we got two members representing two teams going at it tonight in Bayley and Alexa Bliss. They represent two tag teams that are of the four teams going to battle against in WrestleMania, as we know right now, with the Bella Twins as well as the champions Nia and Lash. So if we see all four of those teams get involved, we might have the answer sooner than later. Now, just like Jade, who hasn't been in the ring that much lately, we haven't seen much of the tag team champions, although they did recently have a match with Bayley and Lyra. It was one of those throwaway matches.
Mhm.
And it really only was there to set up everything we kind of already assumed they were going to set up. And really, ever since, is they've been getting in everyone else's business. Will we see the same
Well,
thing tonight?
well, we did see Lash in action on Monday against Bayley, and
Yeah,
that was pretty
but I
much
mean,
it.
like, as the tag team, right? Like,
Yeah.
we haven't seen the tag team. I wonder if maybe next week it would make a lot of sense to get one member from every team in a match, or maybe do one set of that on Monday, the other set on Friday.
I could see that. Like I could see on Monday Charlotte going one-on-one with Lyra, for instance.
But like, I mean, like, say we get like Charlotte versus Lyra versus Brie versus Lash, and then the other one we'll see Bayley, Bliss, Nikki, and Nia.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting to see.
Bayley did come crashing hard on her right knee into that turnbuckle as she was trying for a knee, but Bliss moved out of the way. Wade Barrett is trying to say that maybe this is just Bayley trying to do too much in her hometown. I think this is more of Bayley just trying to get momentum going into WrestleMania. I do like that even though there's commercials for everyone in the United States, there's none for us in Canada.
Yep.
But
But right.
we
But
will
speaking
do
of
a
commercials, why don't we
yeah,
take one?
let's ask everyone if you want to be a part of the Turnbuckle affiliation program. This will be your way to do so. Just go to turnbucklestudios.org/join or watch this video and see if you get a little inspired to tap in.
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you have ever wanted your break in podcasting, content creation, a potential collaboration, or just helping us out behind the scenes, turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle affiliation program. Hit that join button, email us, tell us how you can help us, how you believe we can help you. We will sit down as a collective and figure out the right fit. All of that and so much more at turnbucklestudios.org.
We'll say his name and he appears, but instead we got OM Dynamic. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well today, my friend. Thank you for asking. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. We are 8 days away from WrestleMania. Can you believe WrestleMania is just 8 days away?
I'm ready for it this weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, we do have Bailey going up against Alexa Bliss in the opening match of the night. Bailey in her hometown of San Jose.
Yes, and I was intrigued that, I came in and I got the TV turned on as I was getting ready to jump on here to see that they started off with this. I had completely forgotten about this match.
Yeah.
But
It was stated earlier in a segment that Jade Cargill will be in the main event as she takes on Io Sky.
Oh, okay. Very, very intriguing.
And then to kick everything off, Nick Aldis did tell Cody Rhodes that he is not allowed to touch Pat McAfee. And then Jelly Roll came by his side of Cody and told him, look, this doesn't have anything to do with Pat McAfee, doesn't have anything to do with Jelly Roll. This is all about 20 years of friendship and that WWE Undisputed Championship. So there is somebody trying to tell Cody where the priorities should lie. We do have our main event announced among so much more. I was telling Best earlier that I think we'd find out a little bit more about Io Sky's WrestleMania plans if we see all 4 tag teams get involved in this matchup.
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised even with this matchup. And I'm going to I put a lot of thought into this because I know that there is a lot of confusion right now surrounding Io Sky and Asuka for WrestleMania.
Yeah, we have touched on that already.
And I really don't think it's necessary for Mania because you've got 3 other huge shows in May.
Yeah, no, I'm not against waiting because I do think we can get a lot more if we wait, like a little bit more of a backstory, a little bit more of that want. It's very easy to say, why is this person not on WrestleMania? She was the champion last year. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's just people crying over spilt milk.
Yep.
And, still getting paid, still got a job. Pretty sure they're okay. Maybe Bailey not so much after that drop kick, but
So far, though, neither Charlotte nor Lyra getting involved in this match.
No, and
No.
I don't think they will. I think this will be as much of a straight up as you can. I think the people you got to really watch out for are the champions, Nia Jax and Lash Legend,
Yep.
because they seem to be getting involved in everybody's business and not really taking care of their own unless it benefits them.
Right.
And that's from a sneak attack or behind the back attack.
Yeah, and usually in these matches over the last couple of weeks, we've seen all the tag teams getting involved after the matches come to an end.
Yeah. Bailey with the smart move there to grab the rope as they're trading pinning combinations.
Well, I mean, definitely a ring general and an awareness in Bailey that not saying not a lot of people don't, but she executes that on a nightly basis.
Bailey getting real frustrated that she couldn't get that 3 count there.
Well, I don't know if that was a single joint or the double joint, but that elbow got up, and I don't understand how. Whew. Bailey even thought she had it pinned down.
Oh, Bailey taunting right in front of Charlotte with those chops and shouting woo.
Shades of Nature Boy, or is she the Nature Girl, Bailey? But Charlotte posed to be enough of a distraction for Alexa to steal the win.
Yes,
Yeah.
she did. Wow.
And this is the WrestleMania season, so you got to do what you got to do to
Yeah.
get the win.
We saw those types of tactics out of Bailey and Lyra on Monday.
And well, if you're going to know how to play dirty, you think the daughter of Ric Flair knows a thing or two about that.
Right?
I mean, they didn't call him the dirtiest player in the game for nothing.
Well, I mean, let's not go any further on that. Taking a recap of what we saw last week from Sami Zayn, Carmelo Hayes, and Sami Zayn doing exactly the same thing, whatever it takes to get the win and go on to WrestleMania. Internal thoughts about Sami Zayn not only winning the U.S. title, but winning the rematch last week against Carmelo Hayes.
It was simple. It was just Sami doing exactly what Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton had told him to do.
Yeah, it was intriguing for Sami, but I think that we need Melo at WrestleMania. I think that Trick Williams going to Mania before Carmelo Hayes is undervaluing what Melo brings to the table.
Now, the one thing I will say is I didn't expect Carmelo Hayes to show us this side of him in a babyface way, but I'm digging it, and I can really get behind this version of Carmelo Hayes. Matt Cardona coming in to check on Carmelo. And they're getting a little interrupted by Trick Williams and Lil Yachty. And Lil Yachty may be opening his mouth up when he shouldn't, because now it seems like we're going to get Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona.
Yeah. And it seems like Melo's mission to be on at the show of at WrestleMania isn't quite finished yet either.
Yep. Now, if Melo gets involved, Cardona, and let's say Cardona pulls off the upset victory, does that automatically add to Sami Zayn and Trick Williams? Do you put Matt Cardona and maybe a Melo into that match?
No, you probably just put Cardona into the discussion for going after the U.S. title should Trick Williams be successful at it.
Yeah, but there is still that out there that Melo wouldn't have lost the title if Williams didn't get involved in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So if Nick Aldis is always going to do what he does against Drew McIntyre, why would this situation be any different? If Trick is always putting his nose in the business when he doesn't have to, he's almost asking for it himself. Very similar to Drew McIntyre to when Cody Rhodes got that rematch for the Undisputed Championship. Hey, sometimes you got to call a spade, and you got to separate the lemon peppers from the apples and oranges.
Absolutely.
And by chance, if you want to separate your reds and your whites, I understand that. But you know what would look good with that? A nice black Turnbuckle Studios t-shirt. And you can get one of those from our amazing shop at Turnbuckle Studios. All you have to do is go to turnbucklestudios.org/shop or even watch this.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Turnbucklestudios.org is once again your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And we want you to support your favorite shows and your favorite podcasters. Wear what we wear. Head on over to turnbucklestudios.org/shop, and all of the proceeds come back into our studios to deliver you a better experience.
Now, Ohm Dynamic, I'm going to pose this question to you because I asked Chris Best. He replied with Io Sky, who we saw in the very opening segment of this show. Out of all the matches, 13 matches that have been announced for WrestleMania, what is the big omission in terms of name that you're surprised you have not seen?
That is a tough one. I'm going to go Julia in the Women's U.S. Championship.
Yeah, it's crazy that even though we have how many women's matches? We have Stephanie and Liv. We have Jade and Rhea. We have the four-way tag. We even have the Intercontinental in Bailey or in Becky and AJ Lee. But we don't have a women's U.S. title.
Right.
And to even think that there's still potential for Io and Asuka. A potential.
Yeah, and I think that with that potential, if you have to go to a situation where that match can't go, maybe you give EO that women's US championship shot.
Well, I was gonna say I think that's why that they've been putting Io with Rhea, because I think Rhea or Io accompanies Rhea in her match against Jade.
Would that then lean towards maybe, just maybe, we will see the Kabuki Warriors replacing the Bellas in that fatal four-way?
That's on that possibility, yeah.
As we're hearing from Drew McIntyre right now, the graphic did say that Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre is the second unsanctioned match in WrestleMania history. I'm going to pose this to the audience. What was the first?
I'm trying to remember what the first one is. I actually don't remember.
Well, maybe the audience can help you out.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot that. I looked it up. I totally forgot that match was.
I was going to say Hogan and Zeus, but that was under the no holds barred step.
Yeah, and that didn't happen at WrestleMania. It was supposed to happen at WrestleMania, actually, because it wasn't originally supposed to be Hogan and Warrior. It was supposed to be Hogan and Zeus, but I mean, Zeus wasn't lighting any fires, so
No.
No, but what fires are being lit are the ones from the Samoan Werewolf and the Scottish Psychopath.
mm-hmm.
Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. I am absolutely excited to see this match, and it will be one of the matches on ESPN during WrestleMania.
If this match right now from the card we have is slated to kick off WrestleMania. And I think somehow the roof of Allegiant Stadium is going to send the sphere rolling through the desert.
I'm thinking they just might fight in the torch that is in part of Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah.
Solo interrupting a Jacob Fatu segment backstage, basically saying your past is an embarrassment to our family's heritage. Jacob challenges Solo, and Solo reminds them that they're in the same place to where Jacob's teeth got knocked down, and that we still have yet to find out who it was. It looks like we just may get Tama versus Fatu later tonight.
And was that sort of an admission from the MFTs as to that they were the ones who potentially took Jacob out pre-Survivor Series in San Jose?
I think that was just them trying to get into Jacob's head, because when Solo said, "Isn't that right, Tama?" as if they were setting up a match, Tama seemed a little reluctant about taking on that match.
Well, and that's where I'm going with it, because as Solo brought it up, Was it over there? Was it over there? And then he did the, isn't that right, Thomas? So is that sort of leaning towards that maybe it was the MFTs that took Jacob out?
I think it was a little bit more to letting Jacob know that that's what happens to you when you don't have the backup of the MFTs. Because as we do remember, the history does say that Jacob did leave Solo and the MFTs. And since then, yes, he's risen to more of a main event kind of a stature. He's on WrestleMania unlike anybody in the MFTs.
Right.
But maybe, just maybe, he wouldn't have been attacked that way if he was still a part of the MFTs. I think that might be more to what Solo's going on.
And right now, we're getting a promotional package for Royce Keys.
Yes, this is something that we've been seeing on the internet for a few days now.
Yeah,
it is being rumored that we will see the SmackDown debut of Royce Keys tonight.
Yes.
We haven't seen him since his debut in the Royal Rumble match, where I will still give WWE a lot of credit as they showed the graphic of Powerhouse Hobbs and transitioned that into Royce Keys. Now, since he has appeared on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, we found out more information behind the name Royce Keys, and it is one of the better stories I think I've heard from an origin of a name.
And there's the confirmation. Royce Keys will be in action tonight.
And there is the man himself.
Up next. Wonder who he's going to destroy. And we just got a QR code.
We did.
Or go to www.com/something/privacy. The question is, are we going to see an enhancement talent? Are we going to get somebody from the roster? Is it one of those good old-fashioned extras that have the opportunity to maybe find an early grave? It'll be very intriguing to see, but I have to wonder, with the fact that we saw Danhausen get challenged to a handicap match by Kit Wilson through social media, could Royce Keys be that perfect person to go up with Danhausen, given the background that they have known each other since the time from AEW?
That's one of the thoughts I had from that challenge.
Because what if it's Kit Wilson himself? Or even The Miz?
I mean, The Miz has lately been a gateway for all the debuting wrestlers. So,
well, let's not forget, Kit Wilson was thrown to Obafemi almost right off the bat, too. So it really will be interesting to see who. But again, I don't know if we need something right away. I'm going to go kind of towards the point you made earlier about, do we need Io and Asuka at Mania, or could we wait? Same could be said about Royce Keys. And we always have to remember, Brock Lesnar started the day after WrestleMania. So there's no real need to just thrust people in for the sake of thrusting people in.
No, I mean, you've got 3 huge shows coming up in the month of May with Backlash, with Saturday night's main event, and then Clash in Italy. So you can slowly start to build something for Royce Keys, whether you have somebody come out and confront him tonight, or whether you just give him this match clean this one night and then something happens backstage.
And stuff like this allows you to have that holy you-know-what moments on the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania that we can come together and say we've kind of been missing. There's been attempts to bring it back. Like, I won't say that when we saw Brock Lesnar turn on Cody Rhodes, that was a complete miss. It just wasn't the one we wanted.
Right.
And then I thought last year, for the most part, we saw the energy continue, but there was nothing that totally like stood out for me. So I do
I don't
think
even
we can
remember
get back
last
to
year's. I don't even remember last year's. So
Well, I think what we got last year was very close to the vision starting,
Yeah.
mhm.
or like seeds of that, because we did get the Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins
Yes, and
stuff.
that was when Braun Breaker did spear Roman Reigns.
Mhm. So that was pretty cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie, but weirdly enough, how 1 year
Yes,
can
but
change so much.
as we are about to get the debut of Royce Keys here in San Jose, and we know he is a California native, is that playing into having him make this debut here tonight?
Unless, yeah, I mean, I think it could. And another one could just be wanting to get everybody associated with him now and then get ready for him post Mania and just kind of, you know, get the ball going now. And then, yeah, I don't know. Like, timing is always interesting when it's not kind of black and white.
So the Matt Cardona and Trick Williams match and Jacob Batu and Tama Tonga matches are official.
As
Yeah,
we have
Bubba
our
Duke.
boy,
Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say we have our boy Bubba Duke coming in saying, "Hey gents, have a great show. Great to see you, Bubba. Thank you for stopping in as always, brother."
Have a great show. When don't we? That's my question.
Right? Oh, but it looks like Birdo is going to be the victim of Royce Keys.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You and me both.
Now, I'm going to go with one thing. If Vikingo was to join, these are the two that I hope he would start working with. As he is now SmackDown debuted, Royce Keys is in the building, and he is a big boy.
Berto
Birdo,
not doing the smart thing there, trying to get back there and paintbrush Royce Keys.
I got to appreciate the bravery.
Those scars that he has on his chest might be just permanent after this match.
And Royce Keys already showing a lot more than the last time we saw him in an actual match in another company.
I mean, it's okay to say he was with Powerhouse Hobbs from AEW. It's pro wrestling. Well, you don't have to be shy about where people came from. We're not going to get sued or get a cease and desist by the other company.
Touche.
If they do, we'll let everybody know because it just makes them look bad, not us.
And if we do, it would be a vague response from Tony Khan.
Yeah. And besides, Tony, I paid money to go see you guys the other day. We should be good. Paying customer.
Berto using the distraction outside from Garza to take a little bit of control here in this match.
And that's what I like about these debut matches. Like, they're not always big squash matches. You at least see the person who is going to lose, in this case, Berto, you at least still see them try to get some kind of offense in.
And I think, too, it works good for somebody like Royce Keys because he's going to be a babyface moving forward. He's going to be that big powerhouse, pun intended, kind of guy. And you want to see some vulnerability. In fact, that's exactly what that video was supposed to say, that he is only the way he is now because of where he came from. And we still should see that in his game.
Mm-hmm.
But we also should see what we're seeing now. And that is somebody who is an absolute driving force with one beautiful spine buster.
Yes.
He definitely went to the Arn Anderson School of Spine Busters there.
Yep.
Or he learned to play the game because Triple H was no slouch on that category either.
No. Nor was the glorious Bobby Roode.
And let's not forget the shooter in Carl Anderson.
Right?
But maybe Royce Keys just doesn't give a damn and went to the Ron Simmons School of Arts.
Right.
I totally forgot that Ron Simmons had a good spine buster too.
Mm-hmm. Although with that hand placement in that lower back, that looked a lot of Triple H.
Mm.
Royce Keys definitely a powerhouse, pun intended, in that opening match. Picks up the dub, and guess who punted his way into the parking lot?
Pat McAfee, and there's Nick Aldis. So now it's nobody in the WWE is allowed to lay their hands on Pat McAfee. Jelly Roll's not in the WWE, so.
So they're all asking Pat, did you tell him to RKO me? And Pat's like, no, you shouldn't have even been out there, but you were. And Pat McAfee telling Jelly Roll is, you're not supposed to be a part of our business. Now, I think this begs a big question. This is why I don't compare Pat McAfee to Travis Scott. Jelly Roll gets a little physical with Pat McAfee.
Yeah, and I had to laugh at those comparisons to Travis Scott too, because, well, Pat McAfee can take a bump. Travis Scott bitches about taking bumps.
It's not just that. I think the one big thing is Pat McAfee earned the respect from everyone in WWE, fans, workers. management, higher ups. He put in the time. He trained. He had the matches. He put in the work. And that's, I think, the big difference between why I don't compare the two, because Pat McAfee does hold a little bit more weight in the WWE bubble based on that. And I think that's why I think, at the very least, he's earned the right for you to have a wait and see approach. And that's why I disagreed hard with the Travis Scott comparison.
Mm-hmm.
It had a lot less to do with Travis Scott and more about Pat McAfee. But we are in a commercial break on our screens as well. So we'll just let everybody know turnbucklestudios.org is something we push down your throat for good reason, because it has a lot of direct access to a lot of great things. We've shown you the Help Wanted ad. We've shown you the shop. But if you go to turnbucklestudios/shows and on a click of a button, all you have to do is click on your favorite show and there's a direct link to their latest episodic show. But you don't want to believe me, or you might not know what the shows are, and you say, can you let me know now? Here you are.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we go TNA as we brace for Impact at 9 p.m. On Fridays, join us for the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later that night, we have the Borsnest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day. And please visit turnbucklestudios.org.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, and there is something for you each and every night of the week. That does not include our special events like the watch-alongs, the watch parties, or the PLE Patrol. But click on each of the hosts and meet the team, Mr. Best, Mr. Parrish, myself, Bubba Duke, and Carl Carafel. Get our socials and watch our latest weekly live episodic shows at any time. All of that and so much more, turnbucklestudios.org.
It's almost like we timed that beautifully, because we are now back.
And getting a look at Zuffa boxing.
I just don't know if I'll ever get into boxing.
Boxing for me is definitely one of those sports that I'm bored. I get bored watching, but I have fun playing the boxing video games.
Let's have fun as Kathy Kelly is interviewing Royce Keys.
I do like this matchup.
Solo giving some praise to Royce Keys. Got Bobby Batito coming in saying hello.
Bobby, as always, it is great to see you. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello. Everybody, Bobby is here with us each and every night of the week interacting in our chats, and that's what we encourage from all of you. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
And as we're getting Pat McAfee coming down the aisle right now, let's quickly go back to what we saw. And that was Solo Sikoa painting a good picture for Royce Keys. Really giving him words of encouragement, but is that because he doesn't want to cross paths with Royce Keys, or is he trying to bring him in to the family?
That's interesting that you say that.
Really see that.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because Solo did say we grew up around here together, and he did say long time no see. As I don't think I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, we got Pete coming in saying, "Evening, chaps. I hate this angle." Well, you got to watch it. So.
Yep.
Your place? No, I don't. I will say I'm very much more intrigued with where this goes opposed to what it is. It does, in my opinion, make Randy more of a heel, and I think that might have been needed, because I thought it would have been very simple for the fans to flip if it was just Randy and Cody themselves, and there might be more of an attempt to have Cody as the babyface and Randy as the heel. Could this really have a play into maybe a battle between one group and the next group? Could this actually continue to say a War Games, or will we see something before?
I've been saying this for a little while now, but I said I wouldn't mind seeing Pat McAfee inside War Games one more time.
Pat McAfee making fun of CM Punk, who says on Raw to lower the ticket prices, saying, "You are a lot of licensed merchandise. Does that go to those families that can't afford it, or does it go into your banking account?" In a span of 7 days, Pat McAfee now has Cody Rhodes and CM Punk as his enemies. I think Pat's doing a good job of getting noticed. This is a lot on CM Punk and none on Randy and Cody Rhodes. You're now entering 3 minutes of Pat McAfee talking and not one mention of what he did last week. Now, I have to ask, Pete, what is it about Pat McAfee involvement that you dislike? And I will throw that to the entire audience. Let us know why Pat McAfee's involvement has affected your interest level this much. As Pat McAfee has announced that 25% off WrestleMania Saturday tickets, so that would be night one of WrestleMania, are going into effect up until the end of Monday Night Raw. It was confirmed that Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes are your night one main events of WrestleMania. Woo-hoo! Pat McAfee now asking the San Jose fans if they've won a Stanley Cup. Just minutes after Pat McAfee's involvement last week, he went to Twitter and said if Randy Orton does not win the championship, he will leave the wrestling business forever.
Yeah, and Cody, I think Cody has heard enough because now he's on his way out.
Well, I hope he's heard enough. It's been about 5 minutes as Pat McAfee's been out there. I know the show's 3 hours, but there's actual matches that have been scheduled. I think a lot of people would rather see those matches. A little jump in Cody Rhodes as we see in that walkout. Is Cody Rhodes focused? As in 8 days, he plans on defending that undisputed championship against Randy Orton. And whether or not you like Pat McAfee's involvement or not, Randy Orton is focused. He is very dialed in on becoming a 15-time champion. The big question I'm going to ask, does Cody Rhodes walk out of WrestleMania undisputed champion?
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes has a microphone, and for the first time after the attack last week, Cody Rhodes is face to face with Pat McAfee. Cody telling Pat, I don't think you belong here. Cody might not be able to physically wound Pat McAfee, but verbally, he is kicking his ass right now. Cody Rhodes letting Pat McAfee know that the catchphrases he was saying last week were from the age that his best friend and Randy Orton watched in high school. Cody Rhodes is spitting facts to Pat McAfee, and shout out to the old promoter, Paul Bosch. Bobby coming in saying everybody should check out Turnbuckle Studios. And yeah, we do have a challenge out there for everyone. We are sitting at 192 subscribers, on YouTube, wanting to get to 200 by WrestleMania. That is 8 away, or 8 days, one a day. Come on, it is very easy, people. 234 followers on Twitch, 16. That is 2 a day to WrestleMania for our goal of 250. That is our challenge. Are you willing to tap in with us? Pat McAfee saying he was born to do this business. Cody was born in this business. Back coming in with a message from Randy Orton. And yeah, the tweet that we heard from Pat McAfee last week, he says is a staple. If Randy Orton doesn't walk out 15-time world champion, Pat McAfee is gone forever. Crowd chanting, "No more Pat." I think the audience has spoken.
Once again, Cody comes storming back to the ring. This is a. I'm having a lot of fun. Oh, Randy Orton now.
Yeah. And I think we all knew where this was setting up. And Randy Orton saying, "I think you forgot something," as Jelly Roll is on the ground clinching his shoulder. Now he's dragging Jelly Roll to the ring. And if nobody saw it coming, well, don't worry, Cody didn't either. A sneak attack by Randy Orton on Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, Jelly Roll was nothing more than bait in that situation.
But Jelly Roll's coming back. Oh. As we get all the action going crazy here, we're seeing Cody and Randy swing it, but Pat McAfee is right now just waiting for the right time to strike, I guess.
I wonder with Pat McAfee now doing this to Cody if Nick's going to be like, yeah, that band's lifted now.
Well, I mean, there could be a ban on people putting hands on Pat McAfee from WWE, but maybe, just maybe, Pat or Nick Aldis can say, well, you're banned from the ring at WrestleMania?
Right?
Yep.
Well, Randy wants a title shot, and he was willing to give Cody one. Yeah. Now, I will ask. In the past, Randy Orton has stated that he was wanting to change up his theme song. Now that he is in kind of this part in his career, he's turned heel. He's joined up with Pat. Would this be the right time for Randy Orton to bring out that new entrance song?
I think so, but I think if you're going to do that, that is something you do now at Mania.
I think so too, but at the same time, his theme does lend himself to both being a heel and a babyface. So.
Yes, but more people are prone to cheer when they hear it and sing along with it. If you take that away from the fans, you're really putting yourself in a position to have them hate whatever they hear next.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be such a bad idea. As we are now back in a commercial break, just once again let everybody know WrestleMania season is coming to fruition in just 8 days. So it's going to get busy. You might be throwing a WrestleMania party and you might not be able to get everything ready. So you ask for help. And guess what? We're no different. We know that we can only do a better job of hosting every party, which is really every show we do. And all we have to do is ask for help. So go to turnbucklestudios.org/join if you want to help and join us and be a part of our team. Watch this and let us know if you're willing to tap in.
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
And ladies and gentlemen, as always, turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And we want you to hit that join button, submit your info by email, tell us how you believe you can help us, how you feel we can help you, and we will sit down as a collective and find the right fit. All of that and so much more, turnbucklestudios.org.
So I'll ask this question once again, as we now have Bobby's stats in there, as he's saying, I always enjoy the SmackDown security detail. Well, thank you so much for saying that, Bobby. Earlier in the night, WWE put out a graphic saying that Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre was the second ever unsanctioned match at WrestleMania. Bobby, do you know what the first one was?
I'm still trying to think of the answer.
Now,
No, Bobby,
that was
a boneyard match, Bobby. That was a sanctioned match.
Yep.
Now, Chris Best, you said you looked it up. How about we educate Bobby what that one was?
Seth Rollins versus Triple H at WrestleMania 33.
That's right.
Okay.
It wasn't an official unsanctioned match. It was just a non-sanctioned match.
Yeah.
But the rules, they're one and the same.
And the reason, if I remember correctly, that they made that a non-sanctioned match was because Seth Rollins was working injured at that time, and they just couldn't sanction Rollins going into that match with that injury.
Yeah, he was actually medically cleared, I think, a few days prior, but they
Yeah.
did that just to be on the safe side. I do love the fact that Randy Orton is just keeping that blood stain on that RKO logo on his shirts. Bobby coming in saying, I forgot I didn't watch wrestling during that time. I started to watch in 2019. And Bobby, that's okay, because there are times we all don't remember every little thing that we watch, but that's why we come together.
As we see Pat McAfee and Randy Orton leave the building in Pat's Ram truck with the WWE Championship title in their possession.
This is where Cody Rhodes comes back at Mania with the Winged Eagle belt. We get that same thing that he did with Kevin Owens last year.
Right?
As we get a rewind to Monday night, as we hear from CM Punk. How did you guys feel about the CM Punk promo on Monday night?
I called
loved
it
it.
Pipe Bomb 2.0. Because Punk just spilled a lot of truths out there, and he vented a lot of our fans' frustrations, especially when it came to the ticket sales. Or, I mean, ticket prices.
But he didn't just talk about Pat McAfee. He talked about Roman Reigns as well. And he did, I thought, a very great job of directing that back towards his priority, and that is defending his World Heavyweight Championship against the 2026 Royal Rumble winner in Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got to be honest with you, because I'm looking at and listening to what Pat McAfee had to say. All I could go back and hear was Pipe Bomb 1.0 with, where are my ice cream bars? That was all I was thinking with what Pat McAfee was saying.
Well, I think the big difference, and this is kind of maybe what I'll play that game with the Pat McAfee and responding. When I hear the ice cream bars and thing, like the first pipe bomb, the second pipe, I won't necessarily say it was pipe bomb 2.0. I'm just gonna say this is what CM Punk is known for, and that's just putting heat when he has a microphone. He is one of those special talents when he has a microphone in hand. We talk about the pipe bomb still to this day because of how iconic it was during that time.
Yeah, we're coming up on 15 years since that pipe bomb happened.
And nobody's going to remember about Pat McAfee's 2 promos on SmackDown in 15 years because it's really just another way of him promoting Randy Orton. And I still think that it's only done to help establish Randy Orton more as a hated heel instead of the confusion of maybe the fans might flip the switch and boo Cody. I think now Cody is flat out the bona fide star and hero in this story.
Yeah, that Pat McAfee promo did set out like why McAfee is there for me, and now I understand it. He is there to be Randy Orton's heater.
Well, I think more, but OM Dynamic, it looks like you were about to say something. What was on your mind?
Well, seems to me that Pat McAfee, who, as we all know, yes, he was, a commentator for a long, long time, and a tremendous competitor in the ring, as we've seen. But he is still he's sort of the inside outsider. And what I saw, and I'm really getting vibes of him potentially being the guy to jump to the Vision. But I also got old school NWO vibes. And is that what he is trying to build and get us back to?
I actually did get that vibe last week as well. And I wonder if that is where they're going with it. It's almost like he's the Bischoff to Randy's Hogan. All they're missing now is that Hall and Nash.
Yeah, and I got that vibe last week, but I felt like it was more like it would be a stable of more experienced wrestlers that maybe McAfee is looking to put together.
And let's have some fun with this. What would be that tag team for you that really makes sense? And I'm going to say this really makes sense. Not, hey, I'm going to pick Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods because they've been around. Yes, but they don't fit with the Randy Orton aspect.
Get out of my head, Parrish. I was thinking about the New Day.
I know, because I know you.
I was going through the experienced tag teams in my head.
My tag team for that scenario is the Motor City Machine Guns.
What if, and we now know that they're not going to be around for MLW, they will be in the Hall of Fame for AJ Styles, but could we see Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows return?
It's potential. However, I don't see that. I think if we're going to see them return anywhere, I think you see them return to Raw and join Finn Balor.
Miz and Kit Wilson trying to have their voices heard about why they should be the tag team champions right now.
Well, Danhausen's getting his debut WWE match tonight, too.
Yes, he is. But the reason I picked the Motor City Machine Guns is their longevity, multiple tag team championships across numerous companies. They can work both singles and tag teams, so they fit that Hall and Nash style. Though they are a little more technical and high flying as opposed to what Hall and Nash were, which was just a brute force.
Well, Hall could match you in a technical wrestling match. I mean, let's go back to the 93 Royal Rumble in that fantastic WWF title match against Bret Hart.
Let's also go back to old school TNA where Kevin Nash and one Alex Shelley were a part of a certain faction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this also very well, we can go back to, where have the Street Profits been?
That was the other team I landed on.
And I think it would be very intriguing, but maybe, just maybe, the answer isn't necessarily with a tag team. It could be with two people that could just form a good unit.
would this be a situation where maybe post-Mania, Randy Orton goes back to one of his greatest rivals within the last, 5 or 6 years and recruited Drew McIntyre?
I mean, I wouldn't hate that. I actually wouldn't hate that.
I don't know if Drew takes a back seat to somebody who wants the title, though. I like
Maybe it's
Bobby
not taking
Stats
a
coming.
back seat because I wouldn't have necessarily said Triple H took a back seat in the 2-man power trip.
It's sort of felt like that though, but
I agree with you, Best. I know where you're coming from.
Bobby Stats coming in and saying the Creed brothers. I mean, sure, we don't have to pick an experienced tag team, but an established tag team in the Creed brothers could give the Creed brothers that rub by putting them with Randy Orton.
Yeah, but you did put it out there of saying, could this be a group with experienced people?
Yeah, and I'm also thinking about I'm trying to figure out another experienced wrestler that we haven't seen on TV in months, and I'm trying to figure out how I would fit him in, but I'm thinking along the lines of like Sheamus as well.
Yeah, but I mean, and Sheamus goes back to, though, your point of I can't see Sheamus taking a back seat to a guy like Randy. Yes, we know they've had their history. They've had their wars over the titles. But it could be a way to maybe elevate Sheamus to that Intercontinental Championship that he's been waiting on. We also know that Drew is one U.S. championship away from becoming a Grand Slam champion.
I will put out a team that makes, I think, a lot of sense, and given a heel way, could make them look a little bit more intriguing. But what about Matt and Jeff Hardy?
If they don't book Jeff the way they did in 2011 in TNA, I'd be fine with that.
Well, I think he's off a lot less substances now, so
That whole heel run, I just did not like that. Didn't make any sense to me.
well, didn't like Randy Orton's first babyface run, but he learned. So I am digging Jacob Fatu's head shrinker inspired gear right now.
Yeah.
It's very modern with a very historic kind of throwback to it as well.
Is this where you maybe potentially bring up a couple of up-and-comers who have history in the business, including Randy's WrestleMania opponent from last year, Joe Hendry, and perhaps Ricky Saints?
If I was going to give anyone rub like from NXT like there, Miles Bourne has to be that guy.
Yeah.
Not only have there been a lot of comparables with them, but if you go back and watch kind of Randy Orton is kind of helping ISHO speed out kind of that thing, the person there by his side is also Miles Bourne. And there's actually been a mentorship from Randy Orton to Miles Bourne just when he was doing that kind of switch to NXT for a bit, and he had that match with Javon Evans in St. Louis. That would be the guy. I don't think Joe Hendry needs a rub from anyone. I think he just needs the opportunity. His act would be completely dead off that.
Yeah. You would just totally kill Joe Hendry's momentum if you did that.
But I mean, I'd also be on the side of saying that act might be something that he has to learn to evolve from as well. I will be on the first say that we're going on 4 years on mainstream with that same act. It might be time.
Yeah. We are seeing a fantastic match and hard-hitting match between Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu here.
Would you expect anything less from two Samoans?
No.
Yeah, because anything less would be uncivilized.
Stop stealing my material, man.
I've been holding that one all night, actually.
But neither of these men are actually civilized.
What do you mean? They have face paint and wrist tape. What? And they were in a wrestling hold.
Do we see Drew get involved in this match, given his history with the Bloodline and, of course, what he has coming up at WrestleMania with Jacob?
Maybe. And I don't think it has anything to do with the Bloodline. I don't think it has anything to do with him helping the Bloodline. I think it has everything to do with helping himself.
Yeah, I think he's if he does get involved, he does it so that he gets that one up on Jacob Fatu going into the match on next weekend.
I think I've
But that's
understood
even
the
if-
logic of the headbutt from one Samoan to another. And it's very much like math. Two negatives equal a positive. So they cancel each other out. So the hard head of each, they both cancel each other out. So it goes back to it being something that does affect them. Because by logic, they wouldn't be headbutting each other if they knew it didn't work. That's my Samoan math.
Well, it was better than Steiner math.
Well, I mean, I actually put thought into it. I really didn't.
But I kind of figured. But I gotta say though, like, okay, so I'm gonna say this about the Steiner math promo. I've actually checked the numbers.
Ooh.
Steiner's actually right with the numbers he mentioned.
Oh, I know. It's been proven true for a while.
Yeah.
Now, I think the big question is, do we see the MFTs get involved, and specifically Solo? Because remember, it was Solo who cost Tama Tonga the match with Uncle Howdy. It was Solo getting involved when he didn't have to, and that resulted in a loss against Uncle Howdy, and because of that, Tama Tonga ripped the lantern away from Solo and gave it back to Uncle Howdy.
Well, I guess we're not going to see that because Jacob Fatu just pulled out the win. Yeah, but to answer that question, I think that there is still a rift between Solo and Tama because, again, Tama looked reluctant to take on this match.
I don't know if it was reluctant. I think it was a little bit of like pissed off of like, hey, why don't you jump in the fire? Why are you always throwing me in it? Kind of a deal.
Yeah. And there is Drew.
Now, I'm actually going to be asking this as a real question. What match is going to be more hard hitting? This one or Stephanie Vakir and Liv Morgan?
I am going to say this one.
I thought you were going to go to Brock and Oba.
Well, I'm not seeing any eggs on their heads right now.
Yeah, this match is just going to be one knockdown, drag out brawl. And here's the thing: I don't think that this feud ends at WrestleMania.
Whereas I think it very well could.
I think it has to end at WrestleMania.
We are seeing the left pocket of Drew McIntyre loop a little low. I want to say he has something there. But also this like gene look of Drew is actually pretty badass.
As he hits a
I mean,
vicious
he's reaching.
feature shock DDT on the outside.
He is reaching for that pocket you talked about. Oh,
Oh, boy, I
handcuffs.
hurt him. He landed right on it.
He's got handcuffs.
Well, I guess it makes sense with the handcuffs because that video promo was filmed from an Alcatraz-like prison. So,
Yes.
So what you're saying is Drew McIntyre stole property from the prison?
yes.
Well, then isn't it ironic that he has cuffs?
I wanted to say about that video promo too. It kind of made me think of when Roddy Piper spent like a week at Alcatraz just for that feud with Hulk Hogan, and he did like a whole bunch of promos there. I forget for what pay-per-view it was for though.
And Jacob Fatu is split open on that forehead, and I cannot wait to see what this foreshadows at WrestleMania.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they were from Alcatraz because I don't think they seem to work like they're supposed to anymore.
Well, that person didn't work, period. People, it was supposed to be inescapable, and people did escape.
I will say Drew McIntyre is unleashed, and this is kind of the Drew McIntyre I wish we saw. Not that, hey, you screwed me here, I cost me here kind of a thing.
Yeah.
No words,
Mm-hmm.
all blood. Like, I just want to see this. This is the psychopath I want to see. I know he's more of the warrior now, but he could be the warrior when he's a good guy. I want the psychopath as a heel.
I think that's what we're getting right now. But he may be just waking up the Samoan werewolf in Jacob Fatu.
Maybe.
But this is the first time in a long time, though, that I've seen Jacob Fatu look this vulnerable.
Well, that's just what I was about to say. It's Drew McIntyre making Fatu this way.
Mm.
And if there's one thing about Drew McIntyre, he balls out at WrestleMania too. He has some of his best performances at WrestleMania. Look no further than his matches with Damian Priest. Look no further than the ones with Seth Rollins. I still think that was my favorite bell-to-bell match of that year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But as we see TurboTax going on our Netflix, let's give let's give everyone something that they can love. And that is something every day of the week. Check this out, people.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show Turnbuckle Talk at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we go TNA as we brace for Impact at 9 p.m. On Fridays, join us for the SmackDown SecuiryDetail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later that night, we have the Borsnest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day. And please visit turnbucklestudios.org.
And ladies and gentlemen, once again, we'd like to remind you that turnbucklestudios.org is the home of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And there you have all of our weekly and daily programming. That does not include any of our special events like the PLE Patrol, watch parties, preview shows. Click on the host section, meet the team, Mr. Best, Mr. Parrish, myself, Bubba Duke, and Carl Carafel. Click on our individual links to get our socials and watch our latest weekly live episodic shows. All of that and so much more, turnbucklestudios.org, your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. Now, gentlemen, if you will give me one moment, I will be right back.
Okay, then. Got Bobby coming in saying he's looking forward to seeing Jacob versus Drew as well, and it's going to be an absolute chaotic match.
Yeah, and I get why they put it on as the opener for WrestleMania and for it to be in that first hour on ESPN, because I'm almost certain though that match, and alongside with the 6-man tag that's also going to be in that first hour, those matches are going to be there to be set up for people to go and subscribe to the ESPN app to watch the remainder of WrestleMania.
Oh, sure. And let's not forget, everything's going to be on Netflix as well. It's just that first hour is also going to be on ESPN Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure that that's aware for everyone. But yes, you're right on that. Like, it's obviously they want you to understand that ESPN Plus is there to be also a service to watch. And you have to wonder, with the Peacock deal coming to an end, you have to wonder if we're going to see ESPN Plus try to breed that library for WWE as well moving forward. As this may be that 10th. Bobby coming in saying, can you guys see Julia and Tiffany Stratton next week on SmackDown for the United States Championship or night after Mania? It won't be the night after Mania.
I'm going to say that
Monday, but
yeah,
go ahead.
I'm going to say it's going to be that SmackDown beforehand.
I'm going to say again, why does Tiffany Stratton get a championship match? She lost her last match against Julia.
And that's what I'm wrestling with that idea. I mean, the only way it would make sense is if tonight and in the next hour, which I don't think we're going to see, you give her a number one contenders match. That's the only option right at this point.
We do have our truth coming in with as he is talking to Danhausen.
And there was an announcement that first hour of WrestleMania is going to be on ESPN2 for everybody in the States.
And our truth is just showcasing Damian Priest why he is the most infuriating tag team partner of all time.
Well, Rhea just took out 1/3 of the equation against Io Sky tonight.
Well, she just said one down, one to go as we are seeing not just an OM Dynamic return, but Rhea taking out BFAB and launching her like the t-shirts Danhausen usually launches during commercial break, as we see social media. But yeah, one down, one to go has to mean Meechin needs to watch her back. But we do have Sami Zayn, the men's United States champion, coming out right now. As he will be defending that title at WrestleMania against One Trick Williams.
Yeah, and I got to imagine not only is he out here to cut a promo as he's going into the ring, but he's probably going to be out here to scout the Trick Williams match tonight.
Well, that's what I was thinking he was coming out here for, was to do that now. I think that would have made more sense than to add another promo to the show.
Yeah. I have to wonder if this is going to set up the Trick Williams Matt Cardona match, but also add to see if we're going to get anything else involving those two around this U.S. title.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we're all on that exact same page. And Sami Zayn does have a microphone. I think he will address the situation. Sami Zayn saying, I'm not deaf. I can hear everything that's going on. I'm aware that there's change going on. Will we see a change in Sami Zayn? That is the big question. Let us know in the chat if you want to change with Sami Zayn or just a change on who holds the men's United States Championship. Sami identifies that he is aware of the boos that he hears when he's coming out. We'll say this is the second week where we're not seeing an open challenge. Is it officially over?
I don't think it's officially over. I think it's a situation of now we are just too close to WrestleMania to risk it changing time and again. But we know that right now this match is earmarked as Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. We have seen in the past where they will, for WrestleMania and the big paper PLEs, they will book the same type of match, one for each night. And that's why I'm asking is, do we potentially increase the number of individuals in the U.S. title match and go to a ladder match?
Well, I don't know if we'll get another ladder match because we don't typically get two of the same gimmick matches per night. Maybe type of matches, yes, in terms of multi-man or multi-individual matches.
No,
but I don't think we'll see a ladder match. If anything, why not just a fatal four-way elimination match?
Yeah.
As now the lights have darkened, and it is time for Trick Williams. I'm liking the presentation of Trick Williams.
I love the intro. I don't like the all white.
I like it all.
Welcome back.
I was listening to what Sami Zayn had to say, so. But now that Lil Yachty's got the mic, I can join the show.
I'm actually not, and this is something that I do kind of want to point out. People are mad about Pat McAfee's involvement, but I have not heard many people really say much about Lil Yachty involvement with Trick Williams. And I will actually say I'm someone that I don't hate it. What I do hate is the fact that we're getting Lil Yachty speak as much as Trick, because I think that is the one thing that Trick is doing that doesn't need anybody for. This isn't CM Punk and Paul Heyman. This is more of a maybe an overshadow, just a tad.
Yeah, no, I don't hate the Lil Yachty involvement with Trick. I mean, Trick is fantastic on the mic. He is incredible in the ring. But there is something there that I've always wanted him to have somebody in his corner. Now, I do think that as we've drawn all of those comparisons, I think that this is where a Booker T would be the guy to do it.
I wouldn't even hate Mark Henry. But I will say Lil Yachty's shirt, fantastic.
Yeah.
But I will say that celebrity involvement coming for Trick, I think does more for him on being perceived more as someone who can catch the eye out of the celebrity world. It does it a little better for him. Not to mention the demographic difference too that this does hit, I think helps the product in a lot of ways. I mean, look at just what Booker T involvement in a Bad Bunny song did. It brought you one of music's best performers and best selling and most downloaded artists and brought that into WWE. And without that, we don't have the moment from Puerto Rico with him and Damian Priest. And I don't think Damian Priest gets that rub.
Right. Yeah. Now, I know I can speak for myself. I'm not familiar with Lil Yachty's music. I don't know how familiar you guys are with it.
I know he makes it.
So I think that you touched on the celebrity aspect, and this is sort of that underrated celebrity that doesn't need to be truly physically involved, much like Travis Scott did a couple of years ago, and carry that on. So I like it for the fact that it is under like that, I guess, B-list celebrity with Lil Yachty, as opposed to it being somebody that everybody is familiar with. It's kind of like Metro Boomin, that other rapper out of Atlanta with Cody.
I mean, I don't listen to that type of music, and I'm not involved in kind of that area. So I don't know if I'm not the right person to say if he's A level, B level, C. Like, I don't know. All I do know is that this makes Trick Williams look better.
Yeah, having Lil Yachty there, I mean, like, I know he doesn't need to cut as much take up as much promo time as Trick Williams does. I feel like he's more there to be like that hype man for Trick Williams.
And kind of to pigtail or to ponytail off that, if he's there to have a collaboration with Trick Williams down the road, who says no? As we do know that Trick Williams does have history involving the music scene.
Yes,
as somebody who also has a song out there in Broski, Matt Cardona is now coming down as he's getting ready for his match against Trick Williams. And with the audio kind of going out, I believe that they are in commercial right now on the state side of things. So why don't we quickly let everybody know that we got to pay bills. Sometimes we pay bills by advertisement. Sometimes we pay bills by revenue from the shop. Please go to turnbucklestudio.org/shop and buy some merchandise and support us. We'd appreciate it.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to remind you that turnbucklestudios.org is your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. And we want you to support your favorite shows and your favorite podcasters. Head on over to the shop by clicking the shop link, of course. Wear what we wear. And all of those proceeds come back into our studios to bring you a better experience. As this match is underway with Matt Cardona and Trick Williams.
And we do have the champion out there watching with the first row spot right beside that announce table. Big question is, will we see Carmelo Hayes? And if that's the case, do we see Sami Zayn maybe help Trick Williams and keep his WrestleMania match intact? And does Carmelo Hayes, would he go out there to kind of help with that change that Sami Zayn talked about?
Right. It's intriguing because, yes, we've been asking this question since this match was announced, is does Melo get involved? We saw that confrontation that Trick had in the trainer's room earlier tonight. But we also know that Trick and Melo have that history. Do we potentially see that take shape at WrestleMania? Do we see a reunion of the Trick Melo gang?
Yeah, I don't know, because I do think that we are looking at maybe a duo that is better off right now going against each other, because Carmelo versus Trick over the U.S. title would be very fresh post-Mania.
Yes, it would. Would that be a match, if we go to that you could see main eventing something like Backlash or a Clash in Italy?
I would go towards a Saturday night's main event, if anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in retrospect, you can then have Sami Zayn almost go to that heelish way. Him versus Matt Cardona would be pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. Would a victory, I mean, not just in this situation, but if we go to that heelish turn from Sami, as we really started hearing tonight, the boos from the crowd in San Jose for Sami Zayn, would that be a way for Matt Cardona to start to build some momentum? Because we've seen him come in and he's been on this losing streak.
Yeah, but those matches are also coming in into more prolific of scenarios as well, which I can say that that's a good thing. We also know Matt Cardona does have history with Aleister Black, so that could also be somebody that we have to watch out for. And I wouldn't mind seeing Aleister Black get involved in this as well. And if we're also putting out names, a name with the U.S. title that you kind of can't push to the side, and that's Ilya Dragunov.
Right?
So this very well has the capability of transitioning into a 6-man very well if it really wanted to, because Ilya Dragunov does have history with Carmelo. Obviously took the title off Sami Zayn the first time, or not the first time, but like the last time Sami had it before now. So, and we know that him and Trick are no strangers as they've battled for the NXT championship. So we really could see this expand, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see it kind of within the 3-4 either. I'm trying to see what it says on the back of Matt Cardona's gear. I believe it's I'm something. Whether it's I'm complete or I'm not finished, I'm not too sure.
It says the complete.
Does it say the complete? Oh, it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that he's been saying I'm not finished. Too.
Yeah, his shirt says I'm not finished, and then
yeah. I got a joke, but I'll tell it after the show. But I can see Matt Cardona being one of those names that you definitely put more. Ooh, that was a rough landing. But I can see Matt Cardona being the name to watch out for after WrestleMania. I mean, he did come back at a weird time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To where there might be a lot of stuff in and planned for WrestleMania around that time. And he might be coming back at that time where it's like, okay, now do we try to fix or put him in, or what do we do?
Yeah, because he came in. Yeah, he came in around a time where a lot of things were already set in stone for WrestleMania. And the same could be said for Royce Keys when he came in as well. And that's why we haven't seen him on TV up until tonight. The same thing could be for Matt Cardona. He's just in a holding pattern right now until they can find something for him.
Yeah, and sometimes we do see WrestleMania as kind of that reset to the next year. And it's all right, this is how we finish off our previous season. Let's start it off with the next one, and here's some new faces. A thought kind of went into my head here. We were talking about Randy Orton and who could be guys that are there. What if Matt Cardona wants to take a different road as well, as he's not back just to be the same guy? He's here for a different reason. What happens if he's the one that costs Cody Rhodes the undisputed championship, and maybe we get Cardona joining with Orton, but going after Cody after Mania?
Well, and we know that Matt and Cody's history. We know that Cardona has told him, I want a title shot.
I was
So I
gonna
can
say,
see exactly where you're coming from.
what
But
if Cardona is the next contender? Let's say Cody wins.
I just don't know if I care if it's baby.
yeah, and I don't want to see them go to a similar situation like they did with Kevin Owens, where Matt Cardona is saying, look at my track record since I've come back. I don't deserve this title shot. And then he gets the title shot and then proceeds to beat up Cody outside of his tour bus.
Who had to say that Cody beat? Who had to say Matt Cardona beats up Cody outside the bus? Who had to say Cardona had to be a babyface? What if he turns heel on that SmackDown afterwards?
But then it's still the Kevin Owens thing, because Kevin Owens still was the friend who turned on Cody.
Yeah.
Um,
But we also
technically, it's also similar to Randy Orton as well.
yeah, and John Cena last year at Elimination Chamber. So we also heard Sami address change, and everybody wants change. Was that a prelude and maybe a foreshadow to a draft or a transfer window opening?
I'm also curious on this, because the reason why I put up Matt Cardona is I have a little bit more detailed thoughts of why I would do it. And that is, we talk about the people that have watched this business and are trying to do things their way. Well, Matt Cardona came and always watched this business, and he tried to do things the company way, and then really went to his own way and then got shut off. And then he did things his way, became a bigger star, came back, and now he doesn't care about doing it the same way because he's lived and learned.
Right.
If there's anybody that really understands that process, I mean, Randy Orton does, because the only difference between the two is Randy Orton had Triple H watching out for him. He had Ric Flair watching out for him. Matt Cardona did not.
Right.
And that could be a reason why Matt Cardona is like, hey, I just needed the friends that would help me. Cody Rhodes didn't help me, but maybe Randy Orton will.
Right. Now you mentioned, Matt Cardona previously, towing the company line, and I don't think there is a toe the company line type of thing anymore. At least not visually that we can see within that structure now under the Triple H regime.
Cody Rhodes himself is that person.
No. Cody Rhodes also quit the company. He didn't get fired.
Yeah.
If anything, Drew McIntyre got fired.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I think Cody Rhodes and CM Punk are very alike.
Very much so. And they've said it. They've addressed each other in that, with Cody Rhodes saying, I'm more CM Punk than CM Punk. And Punk saying, I'm more the American dream than your dad.
A beautiful neck breaker there by Trick Williams. Loving the way he made that pin, shooting the underneath the head and cupping his arms.
I am going to play devil's advocate here again in this Cardona Cody potential. And I'm going to pull out a name from the past. Do we see Ted DiBiase return to pro wrestling?
No.
Which one?
Junior.
No. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would love to have seen Ted DiBiase Sr. be there. Give Pat McAfee the $1 million title and just say, run with it.
Right?
And be like, this was given back to me by someone who no longer works here. So now, actually, I guess Cameron Grimes gave it back.
Yep.
Yeah. So Is it just me, or does Sami Zayn now remind you of Daniel Bryan 2.0, but there's no yes movement?
Right? And Sami Zayn was trying to get up and distract Trick, only to be taken out by Lil Yachty, who just ate a haluva kick.
And Trick looks shocked at that.
Well, Yachty was a little naughty, and he paid for it. Oh, that would have been a perfect 3.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I really don't like that finish.
No, I was hoping for the.
Cardona should have hit the Rough Rider and then got the pin.
I would have just gave him a win on that schoolboy attempt.
Yeah.
Huh?
And I'm going to be honest with you, there's still something that I just don't like the Trick shot as a finisher. I think Trick needs a better finish.
Yeah, I need time to see. I need time with that finish. Right away, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I haven't liked it since he was using it in NXT.
Oh, I don't mean the finisher. I just meant the finish of that match.
Oh, yeah.
And as far as the finisher goes, I haven't liked it since Brutus Beefcake as the booty man used it as the high knee.
Well, it's because Beefcake was overrated. But as we're hitting that 2.5 hour mark of our broadcast, that means we're almost done. We still have that EO Sky Jade Cargill match that's main eventing tonight's episode. I would assume that's going to be next on the plate.
No, we still have Danhausen's match.
That won't be long. That will not be long.
Yeah.
I will say this. Let's give it over and under 7-minute segment. I will guarantee it's probably less.
Yeah, I'm going to go 5.
I'm going to give this about 4 minutes.
I was going to be like, you should be very evil and give it 6 minutes and 66 seconds. Team 11 Mockingbird Lane. That is fantastic. So not only did we get Roy's Keys SmackDown debut, we also have Danhausen's.
And it was getting to a point with Danhausen that everyone was starting to wonder when we were going to get his first match. So,
and we are heading into a we'll be right back on the programming. Let's have our final run of all of our ads, starting off with our shop, followed by our help wanted, and then we'll main event out with our calendar.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, videos games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we go TNA as we brace for Impact at 9 p.m. On Fridays, join us for the SmackDown SecuiryDetail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later that night, we have the Borstnest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day. And please visit turnbucklestudios.org.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is everything for you at turnbucklestudios.org. Our calendar and our host section where you can meet the team. Our shop where all of your proceeds come back into our studios. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, how you can join us. All of that and so much more at turnbucklestudios.org, your home for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program.
That was the best time of playing everything at once. What I'm also enjoying about what we could get for after WrestleMania, especially on SmackDown. I think SmackDown, there's a lot more you can do. You got that women's US title that you can do something with. You also have the potential return of Jordan Grace. Yeah, now we're getting ready for Royce Keys. Is Danhausen going to be a SmackDown superstar now that he's wrestling on SmackDown? That's something to maybe look to see if he's going to choose a brand or not. You talked about the transfer window opening. Are we going to see something like that? Then you have all of the potential NXT movement that could become Raw or SmackDown. Could we see some of that? We know that a lot of Stand and Deliver carried over to Tuesday's episode that then carries back over till next Tuesday's episode. So is that just going to be filler up until after WrestleMania, or will we see that kind of be where we saw like Roxanne and Julia coming up on Raw that one time as they were together, still doing a little bit of everything until it became more of a, I guess, final call. It'll be very interesting to see. That's Bobby Benito coming in and saying, what if Ethan Page comes to SmackDown too? I would love to see Ethan Page alongside The Miz.
I was just going to say, I think that's the best fit for Ethan Page if he does make it to the main roster.
I hope that with that commercial break, we saw Danhausen in stride still do the Cannonball t-shirt thing.
If it's Ethan Page coming up, I would rather see Ethan Page go to Raw. And then I think if you're going to do something with Joe Hendry, because we already know the colors he wears, I think you move him to SmackDown to start. Because Joe Hendry is a guy you could hotshot into the U.S. title picture or the world title picture. But I would also like to see a guy like Ricky Saints come up and get that push on SmackDown. We know his history with Cody. We know his history with some of the other guys. And I think that would be the best fit for Ricky.
Yeah, and let's not forget that when they had the Miz on Saturday Night's Main Event back in December, they did do a slight tease with Joe Hendry and the Miz on that same show.
And they had a sing-along episode on SmackDown with Joe Hendry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see if that is a foreshadow or just a one-off. We'll see. as this match has now officially started.
Beautiful northern lights from Danhausen there. For anyone who hasn't seen Danhausen wrestle yet, you guys are in for a treat.
Yes,
he actually is a good worker.
This kind of came through my mind. What if that EO Jade Cargill match is just a way for Rhea to get that blind shot attempt on Michin, and then the numbers game is against Jade for the first time in this whole thing.
Yeah.
That camera angle was phenomenal. Hollywood reject from Mockingbird Lane. Wade Barrett is not a fan of Danhausen.
He is not a Fanhausen.
Well, taking a good page from Nigel McGuinness's book right there, Kit Wilson was.
And Danhausen doing his best Undertaker impersonation.
And Danhausen just cursed Kit Wilson.
The face of the Miz after we saw that pyro go off from the turnbuckle behind Kit Wilson.
Nice little finger poke to the eyes for Danhausen, gets rid of the Miz.
And then the
and
pump kick to
Danhausen
Kit
picks
Wilson.
up the win.
As we saw the Miz trying to sneak up behind Danhausen, but the lights went out and Danhausen escaped.
And now that goes back to Jay Cargill. She's probably looking for Michin and BFAT.
And she has found Michin laid out.
As there's also a broken kendo stick. And Jade finds out that it was Rhea that attacked her.
Yeah, and she said to Michin after Michin told her it was Rhea, she's like, okay, I got this.
Would this be the right time to bring in a fourth member?
That's where I'm leaning towards based off what she had just said.
And I think the outcome of that match at WrestleMania weighs on that fourth member. And I do believe it will be a returning Bianca Belair.
See, I don't think Bianca's returning to go alongside Jade.
I'm with you. Like, I do think that Bianca is going to be that X factor for Rhea.
I think Bianca helps Rhea win the title, and that's bringing Rhea to SmackDown. I think there's a lot more with Rhea coming to SmackDown right now.
I do too. But we have not truly seen Bianca in a heel role on the main roster. What an intriguing way to bring her back would be to have her reunite with Jade, who she's held the women's tag team championships with.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could be interesting to see kind of that. But I think we all know that Bianca's going to come back to a babyface reaction. I think that's the one thing we know will happen. And I think WWE is smart enough to understand that maybe right away you do it. Maybe she comes back to have that bring Rhea over, but maybe it was by design. And then that's where we see Bianca say, no, this wasn't Jade's doing. This was mine. Because as by bringing Rhea over, we can then continue Stephanie and Liv, because I fully expect Liv to win the title and have them continue that for a little bit post WrestleMania.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then you have to wonder if maybe 3-4 months go by, is that enough time for Naomi to come back to Raw?
Right. See, I'm torn on the Liv and Steph match. Based on the situation that Liv has had with Raquel over the last few months, plus, of course, the situation with Roxanne's loyalty to Judgment Day or Finn Balor.
Yeah, and that's where I guess you can almost say that you're just not sure where they're going to go. I have a feeling we might get some answers about maybe Liv and Roxanne moving forward, because before that vicious headbutt that was given by Liv to Roxanne because of the attack of Stephanie,
yes,
we were getting that conversation starting between Liv and Roxanne about, hey, Finn brought you in. I just wanted you to know it was nothing personal about that.
But
so I want to know where you stand. And before Roxanne had a chance to even put a word out, the attack was there.
Yeah. But we've also seen that, Roxanne had her team with Raquel when Liv went down, and she filled in for Liv as the tag team champion. Do we go back to that, or do you see Raquel and Roxanne potentially getting themselves into contention for the Women's Intercontinental Championship?
Well, before we answer that, Best, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe at WrestleMania, this is it. That's where we see Roxanne prove her loyalty to Liv and help Liv win the championship.
Yeah. The one thing we do know, next Friday, both Raw and SmackDown Superstars will be all live from the show, and the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal comes back on SmackDown next week alongside of Wyatt's and MFT's 8-man tag.
Yes.
8-man street fight.
Yeah. So I think we're going to get the finale on SmackDown next week. And as of right now, it is still a fatal 4-way match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. The Bellas remain. I have a feeling we'll find out more by Monday the status of Nikki Bella.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think one of the other reasons why I do think we're going to see a new champion in Liv Morgan is the fact that right now I think it's safe to say that it hasn't been a bad title reign for Stephanie Vicure, but it has been missing something. And maybe, just maybe, that's the right story, the right dance partner, the right opponent. I'm not sure. But there's something about that hard hittingness that we've been seeing with Liv and Stephanie right now, to where seeing it continue for a little bit longer, and maybe going into Clash in Italy, which I think could be a right thing. I think the only way to do that is Liv winning it and then having that chase from Stephanie Vacquier. Because what an ultimate babyface thing would it do is Roxanne Perez turns on Liv. That's how Vacquier can get the title back. And then that could then go into a Stephanie and Roxanne versus Raquel and Liv.
Right.
Because now, are you guys surprised that they're advertising the Demon before WrestleMania?
Not surprised, but
no, because I think it was a ploy to just try and get more people to buy tickets.
I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed. I think that they should have waited and just done that as a complete and utter surprise and head game from Finn to Dom.
I think what I would have done is I would have had that live crowd kind of there, and maybe we make it wait a little bit, because Dom did ask JD Unreal, well, what does that mean in return or in response to the video? And then I'd almost just like play a graphic or like a video that showcases that Demon, and then maybe we see like a photo, kind of like, you remember how Sting's debut video was, and we just got that like swoosh face thing. Maybe we just get the swoosh face of the Demon face paint, and then we get that as a live thing this coming Monday, because a week of that would be fine, because now like holy you know what, the Demon's coming, because on most NXTs you knew the Demon was coming.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I think that I don't agree with WWE, was knowing when he's coming. When it's a complete surprise like we used to see in Japan, or when Finn was working in the UK and the European scene, I think it was a lot better and a bigger pop, bigger reaction.
Gonna correct you, OMD, because they also advertise the Demon in Japan all the time too.
So I think that I would have preferred to see it be that, you know, lights go out, you get that red pulsating light. For the casual fan who doesn't know what the Demon is, you know, they're going to be like, okay, wait, what the hell is going on here? For us, the hardcore fan, even though we might be able to see it and predict it, it's still that pop.
Well, and then we always have to factor in, like, how does Finn want the story and the portrayal to be? Because I know that he has said on Cody Rhodes' podcast he doesn't like it when it's advertised in advance. But I wonder if there's a little work in the middle here and be like, yeah, it can be a surprise, but minimize the days of advance that you're giving, because at the same time, again, this is a larger corporate business. Ticket sales, revenue, all that does factor. And if an announcement does boost their business, then you got to look at the process just a tad differently as well. And I think that's why I don't hate the letting people know, but I don't think 2 weeks is needed. I think you can do it the week of.
Right.
And you can find out almost last minute.
I think the other thing you could have done was, as Finn was doing that video, you could have shown him more looking in a mirror and applying the paint as that gradual process.
Or at least have like things from past demon experiences be kind of shown in the background. Kind of like how the clubhouse of the Judgment Day always have things in the clubhouse that are kind of there as like Easter eggs in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it was a demon plushie or that demon toy that Finn used against Mr. Iguana.
Demonito.
Yeah.
But they
So-
also, in that video, did do a slow zoom in where they slowly revealed the demon mask before the video cut to an end.
Yeah. But like, again, like I just say, like, I just don't like the 2-week notice. It would have been a lot better. And if you did it in front of the live audience instead of the taped segment, I think you could have gotten that pop, that excitement from the crowd, especially next week where, now you're days away from it opposed to weeks away. I think you can really focus on, the days coming to and have that trending and then make it a little bit more of a, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not saying that this won't. I'm just saying you might capitalize on it a little bit better. Because Monday represents what? 5 days to Mania?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, it's only 120 hours, man, but who's counting? I'm just kidding. It's less. And I only mean less because the start time's different.
Yeah, then that's where I was going to go next for programming notice for the Saturday night's gaming will be an afternoon episode next weekend because of WrestleMania, and we will be going live at 6 p.m. Eastern, just as they are going live at 6 Eastern.
Okay.
But that's 8 days away. Got time to prepare yourselves, everyone.
That's why
Tomorrow's
I'm advertising
episode's
now.
normal. Tomorrow's episode's normal, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Now, I will say, we're 8 days away. What is, or has there been a change to a match you want to see? Now, I believe you both said Oba and Brock were one that you want to see, or Roman and CM Punk. Has that changed, or has another one added to that list of, I have to see this match? Like, I just can't wait to see this match.
Well, after the beatdown that Drew gave Jacob tonight, I kind of need to see Jacob's response to that at WrestleMania.
Mine was Orton and Cody. And I'm really, really intrigued because we know that, of course, Pat McAfee is going to be in Randy's corner. Is Cody going to have that surprise and somebody come out in his corner to counter Pat? And I'm not talking about Jelly Roll. Is this going to be somebody that's going to come up and slap Pat McAfee in the mouth and really send that message to him?
Yeah, and
It's going to be Jelly Roll.
for me, I have to go back to Liv and Stephanie. The physicality that they are bringing every week is just making me can't miss their match. Those eggs that you saw on the forehead of Liv and Roxanne were pretty gnarly, and
Yes, they were.
just less than 2 weeks out of WrestleMania, and that is what we're getting. Sign me up, because as soon as we see physicality on Jacob and Drew, those girls are saying, hold my beer, and they're responding in great style.
Yeah. Admittedly, though, I'm also looking forward to Roman and Punk and what surprises can happen there.
I'm also looking forward to the Jade and Rhea match because while we've seen Jade get physical with everybody, I haven't seen Rhea, other than tonight, get physical. And I'm very intrigued to see just how they're going to react against one another in that matchup.
Well, Rhea hasn't been able to get physical because she has had the numbers game against her, which was why she targeted Michin and BFAB.
And that's
So
exactly
now-
why I want to see the match.
So now you've got that numbers game technically working against Jade, though Rhea is not out at ringside at the moment.
And that's why I got to wonder what Jade meant by I got this. I got a feeling that there's got to be somebody else involved. And we may see that other person tonight.
Now I'm looking at Jade Cargill in this match because I know it's no secret that we all know what Io Sky is capable of when that bell hits. She is one of the best in-ring performers that this company has. I want to see how Jade responds by this challenge of having the action and the pace of the action sped up.
Right.
Yeah.
When you have the precision of Io, because if she has that performance where she steps up her game, then count me in on someone who's more wanting to see this match with Rhea, because Rhea does the same thing as well.
Right. Well, and I'm going to ask this because I don't remember. When Jade was in AEW, did she ever have a match against Riho?
Maybe.
I believe so.
I don't remember.
But I mean, again, Jade was positioned as that powerhouse in 3-minute matches, whereas her time here in WWE, it hasn't been quite that dominant. She's actually
right now we're not seeing Jade as Goldberg. We're seeing Jade the wrestler here.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we know that I'm going to again speak on my own behalf here. I do believe that Io Sky is a far better competitor than Riho. Though Riho can deliver. We just know that the years of experience that Io has really elevates that level of competition.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a matter of comparing Io to Rio. I think this is just more of an understanding what Jade's capable of, because we're comparing styles of Rio to Io. But I'll kind of also say this too, like, yeah, based on like where Jade was in her career, you could have it's like, okay, John Cena, you faced Sami Zayn in his first match on Raw, but then you also faced him all the years later on SmackDown, same guy, different performer. That very well could have been the difference. And that's kind of where I'm getting at with Jade Cargill. We all can admit she is a completely different performer than her time there, simply, and it has nothing to do with the company. It has everything to do with the growth and the evolution of the character and the performer. Maybe the company gives you a different chance of that growth. We'll always have to just assume that it might. But, I mean, if people don't mature and get better over time in this business, then that's really on them. Not a counter there, Joe. Just something that really
say that did not look like a counter, but even Io was celebrating like it was a counter, though.
Yeah. Maybe she did get an armbar out of that, but I mean, or the arm, who knows? But
It's hard to tell with that maneuver, anyways, whether it gets countered or not.
well, when it happens really fast, and I'll say this, like it's very similar to Cena's and Orton's attitude adjustment to RKO.
Yeah.
Like unless you make it obvious of where the hand positioning is, you won't understand it because the performer that you think is taking the move, their bump doesn't change, their body movement really doesn't. So it's a very difficult counter to notice if you don't have the right angle.
Yeah.
I'm also going to let everybody know that following tonight's broadcast on the Twitch side, going to try to rate out to Roundtable. They are friends of ours, so give them a shout out and let them know that Turnbuckle Studios sent you over on the Twitch side over to the Roundtable, bro. Matches that power with a beautiful sleeper hold.
And yeah, just because she is the smaller person. I said this last week with Alexa Bliss. She was putting all her weight on that to try and keep Jade down.
Yeah, she's got the body scissors there, so she's got a good lock, but I mean, it just shows you the intelligence of Jade Cargill, knowing to get to the corner, using that to break the hold. I will say there's something about performers that have one colored boots, but then they just have their logo on the back side of it. Always enjoy it. Always like it.
I love the simplicity of it.
Yep, the simplistic look.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to when you just saw initials and then it transforms just a little bit, but it's just enough for me to appreciate. Like it still looks traditional, but it still looks really good.
You made me start thinking about wrestlers back in the heyday who used to do that, and I think of like guys like Greg Valentine who did that. Roddy Garvin did that. Ric Flair did that.
Bobby Heenan even did it.
Yep. By the way, these two women are putting on one great matchup here.
They are. What a pump kick there from Jade.
And Jade picks up the win.
Yeah. And that's a statement win by Jade Cargill, too.
Yes, it is.
This guy is a decorated world champion in WWE, one of the top performers, as we talked about. And you did it convincingly without help.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not convincingly, but you did it decisively. You didn't need shenanigans. You got the job done straight up.
Yeah.
Got to respect that, but you also got to respect the performer in Jade Cargill who did that. I don't know if you saw that, but it was a smirk. A smirk from Jade when
Yeah,
Rhea's music hit.
she 100% was expecting Rhea to come out.
Jade dropping the chair to the outside of the ring and then stepping out and walking away.
Is Io gonna
Sitting, not walking away, sitting down. Now she's
is Io gonna turn on Rhea?
is this another
Oh.
you can't beat him, join him kind of situation? Or nothing. Okay.
I like that. I like the simplicity on that.
Yeah.
I really do like it. That does bring an end to SmackDown. I am going to let everybody know we are going to be sending you over on the Twitch side to Round Table Pro Wrestling. Give them a shout out. Let you know the Turnbuckle Studios sent you. But yeah, Round the Horn, your thoughts on just that, and then let me know like what you thought of tonight's episode.
That was a brilliant ending. I absolutely loved the way they went out. SmackDown, good show, solid show. 2 segments that I felt ran a little bit long. Pat McAfee and Cody Rhodes. That could have been about 10 minutes less than it was. And the Drew Jacob beatdown. I think those both ate up too much time on the show, and you could have put in at least one more good, solid match. But we got a lot of build. And
I thought you were done, but no, I liked the show tonight. I do feel like the Pat McAfee Cody Rhodes segment could have gone a little bit shorter. I wouldn't say 10 minutes shorter, maybe 5 minutes I would have cut off. I'm so happy that we finally got Royce Keys on our TV. Now the Veer Mahan memes that I keep seeing about Royce Keys can come to an end. And then we got Danhausen's in-ring debut, and I'm looking forward to the final week before WrestleMania next week.
Yeah, and I think that's something like we got to consider is that we still have one more week left. And I'm going to kind of go on the opposite side. I don't mind what they did with that simply because that's going to be one of your main stories going into WrestleMania. That's your night one main event. You had to reply to why it was Pat McAfee, what the goal is for that. Everybody, I think you either wanted to know or you're kind of curious to where it was going. That's what we said from the get-go. Where was this going? Where was it going to take us? And I think a lot of times we always think, oh, could they have added a match? But why? What was the match going to do for the sake of having a match? Like you said, we got that debut of Danhausen in ring, the debut of Royce Keys on SmackDown. There's takeaways from there. We got to see Matt Cardona in a match that mattered. Again, iffy on that finish. But this is all about the WrestleMania matches for the next 2 weeks. Next week, we got that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and that 8-man street fight. So we know we got some stuff on the horizons coming up. Will we see a U.S. title match? Who knows? But yeah. But Best, if you want to throw that link back up, though, we do want to let everybody know you can catch us all on turnbucklestudios.org/host. That gives you a direct way to check out all of us on that, and also just click to find out where you can follow each and every one of us. OMD, you were cut off, so let's let you finish and let's take us home for this broadcast.
I lost my train of thought, but ladies and gentlemen, as we head on out of here, we'd like to remind you the world is better with you in it. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
Lights go down! sound, the siren sound. You know what time it is. DT. You know what time it is. Steel in our veins and fire in our eyes. When chaos rises, we're the last line. Step in the ring, step into the fight. We keep the order on a Friday night. When the crowd gets loud and the tension's high, you know the Guardians have arrived. We are the silent security.